I was talking to my dad. This last conversation we had, and he was asking me about what coat did I want for Christmas, like some stupid shit. I'm like, bro, just give me. I don't care. Like I was being a dickhead, so I'm like, I don't really care. Like it's whatever. I'm gonna see you for Christmas, so I don't care what you buy me. The last conversation we had, he had a heart attack. Since that moment, I've been fucked. Like realistically, I have not. I mean, even now, like it's 5 years later, I still get a little choked up about it, but I handle it better now. But it's like, even then, that moment, that was like my best friend. That was my dog. Like, and a lot of people don't know because like, everybody hasn't met my father, but that was my dog. Like, I'm literally him now in life. I look in the mirror, I see myself to a T. I see him, and I've accomplished so much in life that he literally waited for, and he never saw. Now that in itself kills me, because I'm like, it like part of it is like I have to keep going, right? I have to keep striving to be who I know he saw me as.
What you drink, yeah. Sapphire Bombay, only what you think, yeah. Looks like we'll be tied up for some weeks, yeah. Lockdown, can't see no end. Top down, but we rollin', we all in. What you drink, yeah. Sapphire Bombay, only what you think, yeah. Looks like we'll be tied up for some weeks, yeah. Lockdown, can't see no end. Top down, but we pourin', we all in. I'm taking it slow, ain't no time for no hold up. I thrust in it slow, then the whoopie throw up. Bust a cloud like a bomb, yeah, I'm a performer. Isolate me in the woods, you distance me like a Rona. She think I don't know.
Welcome back to the podcast, episode 3. We're going to get into a very, very heavy topic today.
It's important.
It's important, especially when we think about financial awareness. We think about our spending habits in the Black community. This conversation needs to be had. So for those who don't know me, Khalil Simmons, aka Podcast Poppy in full effect. Gotta give it to you how I got it, And my boy, my brother, my co-host here, Yoshi.
Yeah, episode 3. Excited for what we have in store for you guys. But Yoshi Haney, co-founder, co-host of what is PerMyLastThePodcast. We're excited. I'm really excited about this one simply because I think, when we think about being financially free, the two guests that we have to the left of us have a very interesting and very important perspective. And so we're definitely going to get into that. But I appreciate y'all tuning in, and let's get into it, man.
Yeah. Without further ado, like you said, we got some special folks on the pod with us today. We got two good brothers. I want you to introduce yourselves to the people though. Just a little bit about yourselves, where you're from, what you do, who you are. We'll short and sweet, and then we'll jump into this content. I know you got a lot to say.
For sure. Tylann Direct, real estate investor. I guess podcast guest now, and a full-time entrepreneur.
Henderson Banks. I'm an attorney. Own a law firm here in Chicago, personal injury employment law firm in Chicago, and entrepreneur, day trader, investor, however you want to put that, and a podcaster as well. I'm gonna put that in my bio.
Yeah. AKA, our brothers is getting a lot of money over here. Right? If you couldn't read between the lines, definitely a lot of wealth in the room right now. I definitely appreciate you all both coming on. But when you come on to PerMyLastThePodcast, is one thing that we have to do, right? As important as the content that we're gonna give today to the people, it's the drip, Right. And I seen you all walk in. I saw the puddle. You know what I'm saying? I seen the puddle. So let's get into, you know, I want to get a little bit behind the drip, your motivation. You know, we can start because, you know, we repping
Twins.
right,
Twinsies.
for lifers. We're repping the home team today. One of our brand partners sponsors Black, Chicago brand. For you all that don't know, should know, definitely get hip. It's gonna probably be one of the biggest clothing lines in the city, outside of the city, very soon. They're growing very fast, but Black, the brand, you know, repping good old Yeezys on the feet. You know what I'm saying?
You got to.
You know, gotta throw on the Yeezy, aka I will be attending Donda. If anybody got their tickets, you know, the listening party, I will be there. You know, see me. But I got the Bape pants on. Shout out to my brothers at Iridium, Block 37. For those in Chicago who don't know, now you know. Go get you that exclusive designer streetwear. But yeah, you know, I'll keep it nice and simple. Brother, what do you have on for the people today?
Well, we matched.
Yin and yang.
He is the yin to my yang. But honestly, just honored to have on Black across my chest. I think, you know, for what the brand stands for and really what the podcast stands for, we're here to give access, right? And to put people in spaces that we would want to be put in. So
Amen.
We're here to support, show nothing but love. So shout out to my boy Bobby and the clothing line that he's established, and really just what it stands for, being Black, the power behind it, being from Chicago. We had nothing but love to show. Got some J's on my feet, so get like me.
Yeah. That's necessary.
The GOAT, of course.
That's good. That was good.
But honestly, you know, just all Black, you know, because we're making
Black
a power.
that's black on black right there. That's,
Making some statements.
Amen.
And then I'm good.
you got that look, right? Look. I'm about to say you better shout him out. I know you're trying to hide it under the pit like nobody was gonna peek what you had on.
I was wondering if he was gonna pull it
Yeah,
out.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
didn't know. I didn't
You
know
know,
what
he
was
had to
going on.
slide his compartment, his utility
Well,
belt
you know.
across the chest. You know what I'm saying?
This is where it's comfortable.
Yeah, you know, under the pit.
It's not about us. It's not about us.
It's not. We have to get into our guests. You know what I'm saying?
Talk to us about, like, you know, what made you put that on,
Right.
And, and how
The
does that
motivation
describe
behind the fit, your style. You know what I'm saying? Give us a little something.
I'm big on comfort. So I come from banking. So every day I was suit and tie, head to toe, every day, all the time. So when I left and went full time into running my business, I kind of just went super comfortable all the time. So I'm always kind of dressed a little bit down. So we got, of course, Yeezy foam runners. Got to support Chicago South Side always. Thank you, appreciate that. The jeans, Agriculture, which is a Black-owned boutique in the Gold Coast. So those brothers are real cool. The shirt, I don't remember where it's from, but I just felt like doing the blue jean on blue jean.
It looks good, brother.
You know what I mean?
And I see you showing a little bosom.
You know what I'm saying?
I see you showing a little bosom on it.
Show a little cleavage, you know what I'm saying? You know, just want to show a little something, you know.
Something, you know what I'm saying? But lady, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe somebody watching.
Right, you know what I'm saying? You never know, you know?
You really don't know, per my last.
And then the chain is from Dubai at the Gold Soup when I was out there in Dubai.
That's not
What's
a
that?
store.
That's, Dubai, the place.
The place, the location. If you all aren't aware, that's wealth.
Small though, I can't say
That's
small,
wealth.
dude.
That's wealth.
Hey, Dubai, yeah, them tickets.
You know what I'm saying?
They high.
I'm gonna just start by saying my grandmama gave me this chain.
Also not a store. Not a store, original artifact. You know what I'm saying?
my fiance actually brought me this, so it's one of my favorite chains. My outfit though, I told Yoshi yesterday, I'm like, man, I'm about to go to Saks and spend a bag. But I already know they not to come with it. You know, they gonna come. I can't be
Facts.
half-stepping, but and I did. I ended up going shopping yesterday, but when I got home and tried on all that stuff, I'm like, man, forget that. I ended up wearing this outfit from Zara, bro. But it's like,
Zara.
man, the way I swag
Hey,
this
look,
out,
right,
I
you know what I'm
spent
saying?
$1 million. You know,
You feel
Zara
me?
don't miss though. I ain't gonna lie.
Zara's lit.
Zara doesn't miss. You know why Zara doesn't miss? Because you can literally, you will pop out at a party, right? You know what I'm saying? You pop out and you gonna see 3 other people with your joint on. You be like, oh, motherfucking damn.
Exactly. But these shoes, though, these Valleys, I did get these from Saks. I decided to wear these. You know
The
what I'm saying?
ices, I peeped.
You know, nice little Movado, just something simple.
Nice,
you know.
nice.
I'm a classic, man.
We love it.
For sure. I love it, man.
I mean, let's get into it, right? And what are we here for? And a lot of that is financial awareness. And I'm excited about this segment because for a lot of us, especially our generation, we now are exposed because of the access, because of the internet. We understand that you want to have multiple streams of income.
For sure.
Passive, if you will. And a lot of us buy into this idea that we want to see our success, whether that be in our clothing, how we live our life, trips, like really temporary success, right? Temporary happiness, if you will. But y'all take that to a new level, right? And we love to learn from you. I mean, it's the stock market, real estate, that's both 2 industries that I'm sure a lot of us want to get into, but we don't know where to start. Right, because that's not what we learn in school.
They don't teach you in school. They don't.
You don't have a real estate class. You don't have the stock market class, and it sure as hell is not a dinner table conversation.
No, it's definitely not. Definitely not.
So, what is the impetus? Like, give us a little bit more background as to what you guys do on a day-to-day, how you got into that, and the importance of it.
So as far as starting with investing, right? So last year, I took my $600 stimulus check and I invested that.
You say you turned the pandemic into a pandemic.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I honestly, and I posted it on social media, like I made over $40,000 off $600. Take 600.
Oh my God.
Hold on a second. No.
Rewind that back.
I made over $40,000 off $600.
You turned $600 into
$40,000
You took the
in 1 year.
government stem.
Yes.
You took that stimmy.
$600.
Jesus Christ.
How long?
Less than a year, about 8-9 months. It's all on my social media. I posted it and I posted it because to show like, man, it's so easy. It's much easier than I ever thought to make money.
I'm working 16 hours a day.
And it was legal.
And it was legal.
And it was legal.
And it
No
was
PPP. This ain't no PPP.
And listen, everything we do on this podcast is legit. Don't ever forget it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, talk about it, brother. Because I know you say you posted on social media, but 600 to 40K, that's unheard of. I just need to tell me.
Betting has become big, right? Yeah. Betting is huge. I see a lot of our people, we into sports. We find
for sure.
We want quick ways to success. Quick. We need it quick.
And you turned 600 to 40K, and you said less than a year.
Yeah, and what you don't see behind the scenes is the time that I put in to learn trading. Like I literally studied trading charts and fundamentals, psychology of traders and the market for a significant period of time. I didn't just go and just willy-nilly start buying stuff, but it shows me and shows everybody like it's easy. If you can sit down, you have the discipline, you can make money doing anything. And it's the easiest money I ever made. And I posted on my story just to show like some days I'll make $5,000 in a day. Like just wake up, boom, I just made $5,000 from an investment. I used to make that in like a month. You know what I'm saying? So but it's like $600. Like you can get to $600. You can save up $500 to get to your first investment.
Take this off. Hold on. Take this off.
And at the same time, I created a course because so many people would ask me, well, how did you do that? How are you doing that? How are you making that much money? So I'm like, I'm creative. I'll teach you. You gonna pay me, but I'll teach you if you're really interested because it's doable. That's right. So condensed everything that I learned in a year to a course that you can take in 3 days, and be on the same level. You know what I'm saying?
What's the course name?
Trading with Esquire.
Facts. Bull. I see the bull logo. There's a bull.
It's got to be a bull in there.
It gotta be.
Yeah. It's no bear. You can't. The bear might.
Because people think, you got to start with a lot of money in order to make money. The truth is you don't. Small changes in investments can lead to big
returns.
Changes,
Big returns.
So that's one way.
Jesus Christ.
Sheesh.
Well, if you take
Moment
it on
of silence.
if you take it on any more students, you know what I'm saying?
Moment of silence.
I'll send you the link.
Send me the look, brother. I just saw my D.
The course costs $300 because I feel like you have to be willing to invest in yourself.
What? Yeah, you
know?
condensing what you said
Right.
studying charts.
Right,
Nobody
exactly.
like school.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you doing it all for us.
Honestly, what we need to do, for all the viewers out there, we're gonna definitely drop the link to that training course.
Trading with Esquire.
Trade with Esquire, the Instagram, whatever. We need to drop that. We're gonna definitely get you all that information because $600 to $40K. I don't know if you heard what my man said, but it was less than a year. So I know we like to flip those dollars pretty quickly. That is unheard of. Never experienced it. You know, never heard of it. But my boy right here, he did it. So we want to share the knowledge. That's the purpose of this podcast. So we definitely gonna make sure that you all get that information.
Ty,
Yes, sir.
Ty, brother.
What's going on?
talk to us.
Yes.
So I believe in long-term investing. I'm not. I flipped before. I've wholesaled before, and I'm not dissing those ways to do real estate. But for me, I think the gold is in rentals, in long-term holds. So not quite flipping 600 to 40K all in a year, but just building equity over time and receiving residual income as you go.
Now you talking about? I'm gonna need you to take it down. To
Okay, I got you.
You said equity. I just learned that word
Residual income, you know what I'm saying?
Learn that word
Break
as
it
an
down,
attorney
right.
So
this year.
Equity is the amount of money that you're worth minus your debt. So to break it down simply, if you own $2 million worth of real estate, and let's say you have $1 million worth of loans, you have $1 million worth of equity because you take 2 million, you subtract 1 million, and you have 1 million.
I learned that in school. I learned equity equals assets minus liabilities.
Yeah, exactly. And
Why
you
not
always
to
want to be contributing to things that make you wealthy. You know, not just wanting to just get a bag right away. You know, and then the residual income is the money you make. You know, every month. So an example would be, let's say your mortgage on the rental is $1,000, and the home is grossing $2,000. You would take that $2,000, subtract that $1,000, and you would be receiving $1,000 a month
That you don't got to work for.
that you ain't got to work for.
That's important.
Just collect that.
Because you can only work so
Exactly.
many hours in a day, you know. So one of the best ways, easiest ways to get rich is when you can make money while you're asleep. You know, long-term stock investments. You know, I do have long-term stock investments that I don't have to check on, but I know over time those investments are going to make me money. And one of the surest ways, real estate. I mean, I love real estate because it's one of the surest ways to build wealth and gain financial freedom. You know, I tell you a story about me and my now fiance. When we first started dating, I told her at the time she didn't have a car. She had just been in a car accident maybe a year before that. And we were coming up on, she was like, hey, I want a car. And I was like, you know, instead of getting a car, let's take that money and get a property. You know, what, $20,000 for Mercedes-Benz, $30,000, or if you want a high-end car, $40,000, $50,000. Take that money, get a property, and that property will have a surplus and profit every month, and that surplus will pay for the car note instead of you going to just and get the car. And you know, I appreciated her and love her so much for the fact that she trusted me. Like she went another maybe year and a half, 2 years without a car. And we got in the market, we got a property and did exactly just that. So of course, when we did go buy her car, you know, I gotta show some appreciation.
All right,
Like
Sony.
Put that shit on.
I was about to say, I know you put it in something crazy.
2021 Jaguar, you know.
Nice.
It's a nice car. You
Don't
know?
jag on him.
But then now it's like, now you can do the same thing because that money that we would have been paying for rent, well, I have a tenant that's covering my mortgage, right? Mm-hmm. So instead of paying $2,000 a month in rent, I can save that. At the end of the year, I got $25,000. That's another property. Now, if I got 2 rental properties, I'm bringing in $3,500 a month in profit. Eventually, if you keep doing that, you won't have to work.
Exactly.
You know, so.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And it's attainable.
Story of my life. There you go.
Press.
Preach.
Okay,
Preach.
so I want to get into what is, I think, a very important part of this whole process, and that's taking a leap.
Risk.
Because I know both of you personally. I know that you both had great jobs before you decided to do this, and so financial freedom to you, you know, looks a little different. Now, as a 26-year-old, what we've been exposed to, what we know is you work your 9 to 5.
For sure.
You work real hard in that 9 to 5 and save money. Put it in a savings account. Now, whether you've been exposed to different ways to save, investing in different ways, again, we don't know where to start. And again, a lot of the times you said eventually you can quit your job and have this as, whatever you want to be. So how did you get exposed to that, but then B, have the faith in it when, of course you had to learn it, right? And you had to start somewhere, but to leave a job that, you worked at Walgreens, Amazon, as counsel, and what took that leap of faith? Like what pushed you to that point to believe in yourself and what you've been learning that you can turn that into a sustainable model?
Firstly, I realized in working for huge corporations making amazing money. Like coming out of law school being broke most of my life, and then you see all them zeros on the offer. That's there's some shock value to that. But I learned very quickly for the amount of work that I did, for the hours that I put in, and all of the traveling that I did, and after taxes, I didn't make as much money as I thought. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that I was never going to be able to build wealth just by doing that. So I always knew, okay, I had a mentor back in law school, and I worked for his firm for a year, small firm, 3 attorneys. And that's why I was first exposed to owning a law firm and how much money you could possibly make. And that's what I knew I wanted to do. But it was a matter of, well, how do I do that? I was already taking cases and handling things on the side while working for Amazon. But then when Crystal came along, well, that gave me 2 people, right? Now it's 2 of us. So I was still working in corporate America, still taking cases, investing in the firm, and she was working the firm full time. And eventually it got to a place where we was making so much money with the firm. It was like, hey, we can walk away from this. We don't have a mortgage because my tenant's paying my mortgage. We're making enough money from the firm to where I feel comfortable making that jump. So that's just one way to do it. It's, I guess, calculated risk.
Right.
No, for sure. I always tell people, don't be ashamed of your job, right? The 9 to 5, it's a tool. And a lot of times it's necessary. A lot of people just want to go from 0 to 60 and they don't want to respect the process or whatever the case may be. If you invest slowly and consistently, you will get there, right? And you may want to continue to work and you may not, but you'll at least have the options. Right. It's not about not working. It's about having the option to work if you choose not to. I'm noticing that everybody's entrepreneurship has been over the last 10 years, it's been I ain't working no job. I'm too good for this. I'm too good. You're not too good for it. You got to go through something and you got to use that tool and keep investing. So for me, it was all about working that 9 to 5 and being consistent. And over time, I woke up, I did my taxes one year and I said, you know what, I really ain't got to be here. And you will get to that point. But don't be ashamed of the job. So that's the advice I would give to everybody who wants to start. Is just make sure that you're chipping at it slow. And it's not something that's going to happen overnight for most people. It can happen overnight, but most of the time it's going to be something, over time. Success is cooked in a slow cooker, in the oven, not in the microwave. Food out the oven tastes better.
Look, and definitely do.
Definitely a baby. For sure.
I like my air fryer.
Okay.
You know what, the air fryers are.
I'm the middle guy. The air fryer definitely tastes better than the microwave.
That's the power of technology.
You're right.
Yes,
we're in a space where we don't gotta read books no more. We can watch YouTube videos.
Exactly.
Look,
I'm king of the YouTube cook. I'll fire up some fire recipes off the YouTube.
Shout out Law.
Right. Shout out to Law Cannon. But I really want to know, to your point, Ty. You said using your job as a vehicle to financial freedom.
For sure.
From you all's perspective, when is it the right time, one, to walk away from that security that you have working in corporate or where whatever that full-time job is, to pursue a career of entrepreneurship, and then even furthermore, when is it? I guess when is it the right time to that you feel comfortable taking that risk? As someone who, we're 26, right? We corporate attorney. I work in tech. And I have those days where I'm just like, I'm exhausted. Like, I don't want to hear from nobody telling me, you know, how to dictate my day. You know, I entrepreneurship looks appealing to me, but at the same time, I'm aware that if I leave now, I don't have the income coming in to be able to say, I can replace all this tomorrow and go pursue a career in entrepreneurship. So when is it that right time to say, okay, I know I'm good. I can leave all this behind. The benefits of being at those companies,
That's right.
The security that you have. You know, every 2 weeks that check is coming in, and you straight, right, to pursue a career entrepreneurship where you necessarily don't know when that, you know, what that next check looks like.
For sure.
First thing I would say is entrepreneurship is not the only way to gain financial freedom and build wealth. It's one of the ways, and probably the most prevalent way. But you can be happy and stay at your job where you love what you're doing, working for a great company, and still build financial wealth. It's just a different means of doing it. So, for example, you can make sure you save money, live below your means. You know, if you had, I mapped out all of my expenses on an Excel spreadsheet. I knew every month what I had to pay, and then I challenged myself: what can I cut off of this list? What can I eliminate? What don't I need? You know, in order to be in a surplus every month. So if you go ahead.
Well, I just want to, this is very important, right? But for people watching, budgeting, of course, but for people watching, that's not fun.
It's not.
Right? We
It's
live in
definitely
it's not sexy.
It's not fun
Okay,
at all.
budgeting is not sexy, okay? And for a lot of us where we're young, we want to live this life of, you know,
I want to go to Dubai.
you know what I'm saying? And social media doesn't help, right? So our success, we see people our age
Doing crazy
things.
Yeah.
And so to fall into this idea of long-term success, buying into, let me make some sacrifices now for that return later, when a lot of us sometimes like, okay, of course we want to live the life we always wanted, but that's a sure way. Like, I want you really to hone in on how sure that is versus we all have this lottery mentality. For sure. Like, how can I get rich quick? Of course, that's ideal. That's why we're betting. That's why we're doing certain things. It's like, how can I get it quick?
For sure. It's like Kanye said, drive slow, homie. Right? Like that's a surefire way to get where you want to go, right? To his point, it is unsexy, right? And everybody wants the quick way, but if you want to be financially free and successful, you're gonna have to do the unsexy activities. There's no way around that. You got to push through that. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is you're 26 years old. That's young. And when you hit 30, that's still going to be young. And when you hit 35, that's still going to be pretty young, right? The average person that's retiring, they're expecting to retire between 65 and like 75. So if you can get anywhere near that before 40, you're doing okay. You know, and I think that there's this fear of 30 for 26-year-olds. I notice this is a common thing with people in their 20s. It's like, I gotta have everything done by 30. I don't know what it is about 30. It's like, I gotta be married. I gotta have $1 million.
We blaming the socials, bro. Everybody on social media, bro. They'll make you believe that at 21 you gotta have a home.
Exactly.
You gotta have the Teslas, and you gotta
what happens?
You gotta
He
ride.
does have one, though.
Yeah.
Wealth.
Yeah.
Fucking wealth.
I would say it's okay to be young. It's okay to live your life. Especially like after making sacrifices, going to school, all of that, it's okay to have fun. Like, it's okay to have fun. It's okay to spend money on yourself. It's okay to take that trip and not necessarily like be focusing on cutting out all of the fun shit, excuse my French, budgeting and all of that, you know. It's okay because you deserve it ultimately, you know. So, and that's one thing that I had to learn over time. And like he said, like, success comes. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. You don't have to cut out all of the fun in your life right now and do all of that right now. It'll ultimately come.
That's definitely about balance. And to the point earlier, when you turn 30, you'll realize how young you are in that moment. You know what I mean? And then when you look at everybody that came before you and you see them retiring in their 60s and 70s, you'll realize that if you can come anywhere near that you've done well. So I think and then to the question that you spoke of earlier, when do you know? For me personally, I think that looks different for everybody. But for me personally, I left when I matched my income at the job. When I matched the number, that's personally when I was like, okay, I'm comfortable taking this leap of faith. Now that may look different for everybody, but it's okay to kind of go to that 9 to 5 that you probably don't like as much. Just set that goal, you know? It's okay to work that job. I think a lot of people are just jumping out the window, like, I'm just gonna do my own thing and I'm gonna sell these t-shirts, you know, or whatever the case may be. And no diss to anybody selling t-shirts. Shout out to Black. I like the shirts. Shout out to Black.
When I got my first job, though, I went and brought me a luxury car. Like,
right, as most of us would, right?
Exactly.
You're like, I got some money.
I deserved that.
Right, I worked hard.
Now, when I got
30
38 plus, I was like, you know, I didn't probably have to buy that car because at the time I didn't have a house. I could have, but at the same time, I felt good buying that car. Yeah. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, still have a plan. You know, still be thinking about the future, and regardless of what amount of resources you put into it, even if it's $1 a day, put something away. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And eventually you'll get there. It adds up.
Definitely. So another point I want to kind of touch on is like, right, like you said, it's okay to go. You finally you getting the check, right? You didn't work, you didn't struggle through undergrad, or you done went through, you got your master's degree, law degree, you know, any higher level education. You finally you seeing them zeros come through, and you're like, I got a ball now, right? I gotta go. I'm gonna go to Saks, put something on. I'm gonna go get the nice car. Like, you gotta do something for yourself. You want to do something for yourself. You're like, this is the fruits of my labor, right? Whereas we find that our white counterparts, right? They're oftentimes, like, I've had several conversations, just from my perspective. I had several conversations with a lot of my coworkers where their perspective of success, their perspective of luxury doesn't look anything like what we do. It's not the clothes that they put on, because, you know, we love to.
We like to look good.
We like to look good.
Love the drip.
You know, we love to, you know,
see our
success. Mm-hmm. Whereas a lot of our, you know, white counterparts, they're investing a lot earlier in life.
That's the norm.
They might go get a boat at 40. They might go get some golf clubs. You know, like, just things that, you know, a lot of people from our community aren't necessarily accustomed to or aware of, right? So it's like, why do we as Black people, why are we so fixated on having to show our success for people who 9 times out of 10 don't really care, or don't care about us enough for us to even have to put on a show for them? Like, why do we have to do that? And why is our view of luxury so different from our white counterparts? Like, 'cause we all done been in the corporate spaces. Like, I can't even speak for myself. Like, I'm the flashy guy at Google, and I'm typically a flashy guy in a lot of my circles, but at Google, I'm like, I'm over the top. They like, why are you wearing these clothes to work? Like, I really, like, I'm different. And to me, but this is normal. This is just my personality. But I'm like, I don't know why I do the things I do. I just like it. I like putting that shit on sometimes, you know?
I ain't mad at you. I think Kanye said, because they made us hate ourselves and love their wealth.
Yeah.
That's why Shorty hollering what a ball is that.
You know?
Kanye. So everybody want to be a baller.
Everybody want a ball.
I want a ball.
You've been shut out 4 times in this episode.
Sponsor us.
Yo, he need, yeah, right.
Right,
He's
sponsor
getting a lot of
us.
love
We got
today.
an
He
Easy
getting a
on
lot of
here.
love
We got
today.
2 quotes from you. Sponsor us.
But eventually you just learn, like, okay, I brought that luxury car, I brought X, Y, and Z, but
What did it do?
it's like you running a rat race, you know? I'm working and I'm just paying bills. And then I get a promotion and then I'm still just paying bills because I got more expenses. I went and brought something else. You brought something more expensive.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is buying things that are going to make you money. Buy an asset. Buy something or put your money into something that will make you money. We're socialized. We're not exposed to that. I didn't have parents to say, hey, Henderson, when you get your lunch money, go and, invest it.
Right.
No, I'm about to go to the corner store and give me some chips with cheese and meat and hot peppers. That's what I'm going to spend my money on.
Look, every time.
But as I got older, I just realized, man, I'm making money, but where is it going? Oh, that luxury car guy sitting outside. That $700 car note. Oh, okay.
Oh God, my stomach.
And then I just caught on. Like, okay, I have to buy things that make me money.
That's 40K.
Right.
So, I think we ultimately will catch up though. It's just about exposure. This podcast is a great opportunity, a great starting point for a lot of people to learn, So
Definitely.
shout out to y'all for putting it together for sure.
Appreciate you.
When you're not free, you surround yourself with things that make you feel free. I think that's the biggest
Can
thing.
you remind that one more time for me? I need to hear that one more time. 'Cause I think you can drop the bar.
When you're not free, you surround yourself with symbols of freedom, things that make you feel free. And I think what we're chasing is
fire.
a high,
Yeah.
right? And buying something gives you a high, and when you come off that high, and when you come off that high, you got to get high again. So what we are is we're addicted to the drip. It is what it is, So it's like you buy some Gucci, and then you like, ooh, I'm the man. I got that Gucci. Yeah, cover that. And then you come down off that high, and you gotta get some more Gucci, right?
That's a
and then as long as you can stay high, and anybody who's educated on addiction, that's what it's about. It's about staying in that moment, And so what we are is we're addicted to a feeling, And I attribute that, especially on the guy side. I'll just be honest. I think it has a lot to do with girls.
I mean,
It just has a lot to do with girls. Like you.
9 times out of 10. I have a theory. I always tell people, I'm like, honestly, if women just didn't exist in the planet, right? It was just guys.
Straight.
Would we even wash our butts?
No.
What would we actually? We wouldn't even care.
I'll be real. I'll be real.
All right.
Women are the best thing in the world.
They
Shout out to
are.
all the women.
But
However,
they are motivation for a lot of things we do.
our want and need for them puts us in situations that we just.
What we even do the basics?
Yeah. We just go out our way to impress women. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's hard to watch, card cracking Dante or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Get all the girls. Let's just be real. It's hard to watch him walk around, get that easy money, right, and get all the girls while you driving your whatever, stacking up, getting your rentals and getting your stocks.
The Honda Civic don't hit the same, brother.
It just don't hit the same.
They're
not hopping in that. They would rather cry in the Mozzie than they would the Honda.
Exactly. So I think a lot of this is directly related to women. I think for men, I see a lot of men just taking chances, penitentiary chances for women. Like honestly, really, whether it's drugs, all that stuff. So I always tell people, and I love women just like the next man. You know what I mean? Like but a sexually disciplined man is a great man and a successful man.
Powerful.
You know what I mean? And you look at I always tell the story of two kings, right? Mm-hmm. So this is something I made up. You have Jay-Z, you have R. Kelly, the best rapper in the game, the best R&B singer in the game, right? Mm-hmm. Story of two kings. They do an album together. They're on the same level, right? Net worth, all that stuff. They're kind of at this time. One guy chooses to be sexually disciplined, focused on his career, focused on businesses, gets married to a boss, you know what I mean? And the other guy wants to pee on people. So now, one man, the pee piper. So now one of these men, when they were eye level, and one made one choice and one made another choice, one is worth $2 billion and one is worth under $1 million and facing who knows how many years
in jail. Facing bars.
Because of his addiction.
Because he's weird.
To that thing.
To that,
Look,
that young thing though.
That young thing,
Yeah.
So I mean,
different.
Focus on your wealth. Focus on being physically fit. Focus on your faith. And these women, chill, bro. Just chill. And it'll all come. It'll all come to you slow. But I see a lot of men just messing up just because they want some of that thing. To be honest, yeah.
That thing.
Well, I want to wrap up our segment really by asking, one thing that make it all make sense, right? Mm-hmm. Because again, we have to be able to buy into this idea. We making sense right now. I mean, you don't got to say any more than turning 600 into 40K.
You had me there.
But
I'm a student.
And you gave us sort of a timeline. But for some, you started with one property, I'm assuming, and then turned into two. How many properties you own now?
It's over 30.
Sheesh.
I have one and I barely can handle that.
So my thing is, what can people expect? What timeline should they give themselves?
To give themselves like grace.
Because it's one thing to hear all this, but what do they have to commit to? Right? Give us an idea of how, like, practically speaking, if I buy into this idea, what does that sacrifice look like and how long?
The timelines are different for everybody. And my biggest thing would be, do not compare your timeline to anybody else. That looks different for everybody. It's personal. Don't look at anybody else's timeline. Just take your time. The biggest thing is to start. I promise you, if you start, it's a snowball effect. And what's wrong with 99% of people is that they just don't start. So just start. And if your first property is only making you $400 a month or whatever the case may be, just start. It will get better within time. I can't give an exact timeline because everybody's comfort level is different. But I would say that the biggest thing would be for me is cut expenses to the point he made before. Just cut your expenses, live a little below your means, and start. And then you'll be fine. And you'll wake up one day and you'll realize that, you're there.
For me personally, I personally, have a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, of where I want to be within that time frame. And I think that's a realistic time frame. In 10 years, I want to have it a few million. You know what I'm saying? And, it could come sooner, it could come later than that. But I know every day, like you said, I'm working towards it. Right. And I think having at least a 10-year plan is realistic. 5 years, even better, check in. Where am I after 5 years? And write it down too. I have a little board in my office where, hey, these are the things I want to get done today and over however long. When you see it, it makes you hold yourself accountable. But I feel like a 5 and 10-year timeline over a set of goals is a realistic place for you to start. And then with that, you'll have to fill in things that you need to accomplish, milestones along the way in order to get there. And I think that that's realistic,
And I just want to say this one last thing, because I know you gave a practical way of, they can follow you on Trading with Esquire to even get access, because we're big on access, right? Access has been a big part of this. But for real estate, where do people start?
So I always tell people house hacking, in my opinion, is the best thing you can do. Because if you go to the bank and you want to buy an investment property, they're going to say, okay, give me 20% down. Right. We're in Chicago, the average property, let's say $200,000, something like that. That looks like $40,000. And a lot of us don't have that $40,000. However, a lot of us can, do 3.5%. And with house hacking, you go to a multi-unit. I always suggest your first property be a multi-unit. Let's say you do a 2-unit, 3-unit, 4-unit. Whichever you choose, you can live in one unit and have the other units pay for the mortgage, to his point what he did earlier. And now you can get the home for 3.5% down. And then you can also do that a couple times. People don't understand that. And you can hold personally in your name, I believe, 10 mortgages in your personal name before you even have to switch it to a business. So, there's a lot you can play with, but I would start with just living in the first property, humbling yourself, living in that one unit, and then going from there. So that's what I would start with, for sure.
And let me say one other thing. I want to plug this program because it's a super dope, amazing program called NACA, NACA.com. Yep. And they literally, for first-time home buyers, pay your down payment, your closing costs, everything. You could come to the table with nothing. Right. And you can get in. It's real.
They'll cover everything.
Sure. They'll cover everything. As a first time home buyer, that's how I got into our first property, right? And so because I didn't have to come to the table with anything, literally, when I say nothing,
zero.
They pay your attorney's fees.
Yep.
So it's because I didn't have to pay any money for a down payment or closing costs. I took the money that I was gonna pay and I brought my interest rate down. I was gonna put down $20,000. I put $20,000 to buy I have a 1% interest rate on my first property. So, it's the easiest way. And then from that first, unit, you have now equity, you have collateral to now go and get another property at some point. So you might want to drop that link in the comments.
Yeah, we're gonna drop that. I'm not gonna lie. You done dropped 2 fire points. We definitely gonna make sure we leave it in the comments, leave it in the description for everybody to go and check. And you done dropped some fire quotes, and we gonna look. You left that with me, so we leaving with that.
We're gonna have to watch this multiple times.
I'm gonna run it back a couple times. So I need to know. But for you all, if you forgot that quickly, NACA, you trying to get in your first property, definitely check it out. And if you're just trying to learn how to trade in general, trading with Esquire,
Absolutely.
check it out on Instagram, correct?
Yeah.
Trading with Esquire on Instagram. Definitely get into it. My boy turned $600 into $40,000 in less than a year.
We got 30 properties over here.
And 30 freaking
How do you
properties.
even visit 30 properties?
I don't need. How? How?
The tenants be nasty. I've been seeing your stories.
I have
Your
a
tenants be
2-unit.
dirty.
I have a 2-unit, bro, and I hate it. It's tough.
Well, when you start scaling up, you gotta, of course, hire help.
Property management companies.
property management.
Your tenants be dirty.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's hit or miss. It's hit or miss. I mean,
That check ain't dirty though. That money's green.
Exactly. I mean,
that money's green all the time.
I got some real clean tenants that take care of the place. I got some dirty tenants. You never know, because it's just almost like when you're hiring for a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're on an interview, everybody's perfect. They're telling you how
look good on
great
paper,
things are,
that's right.
and then they get the job and they fall off, or even being in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Every shorty you've dated has been great in the beginning. Nobody, you know what I mean?
Get spicy.
And then and men do it too. I don't want to turn this into a female bashing.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
but like you never know. But I mean, you got to kind of go through that as well. You're not gonna have perfect tenants if you have a multitude of properties. So
That's right.
I mean, most of them are good. I would say.
We're toasting to you guys. We
sure.
appreciate the knowledge. We
Definitely
appreciate
drop some knowledge.
the access
Sure.
you guys are providing. But more importantly, we appreciate you for expanding our mindset. So
You definitely
toast to
just gave me a ton of knowledge that I wasn't anticipating to collect today. So I appreciated that. What are we toasting to?
They redefined our knowledge.
That was it.
That was it.
That's good. That's great. Yeah.
Nah, success looks different in everyone's eyes. And I
Amen.
think as you'll see this podcast progress, you'll see success in so many different spheres. You've seen it with people who don't have the 9 to 5, right? But they're making it work
And doing it freaking
Passing.
well.
So-
Doing freaking well.
without breaking a sweat. So cheers to
So
y'all.
we're gonna tap the table.
Right.
What you drink, yeah. Sapphire Bombay, only what you think, yeah. Looks like we'll be tied up for some weeks.